Good morning, teachers. I thought I would share some cool stuff I learned over the past few days while on virtual school. So I am making this recording on a Chrome extension called Screencastify. To get this extension, all you do is you go on the Chrome Web Store and then find Screencastify. It's very easy to use. You can turn your webcam off and on. So right now I have it actually turned off. Not a good hair day. Okay, so on your Google Classroom, when you create assignments, if you choose quiz assignment, it actually creates a Google form. And then the Google form is going to be in the form of a quiz, and the grade will be imported onto your Google Classroom gradebook. That's so cool. Okay, also on Google Classroom, they now have the Rubric feature. So I thought I'd make up a little sample assignment to demonstrate this. So I told my students to answer this question: what should graduation look like in your opinion? So I specified, had to be 30 words. I know it's not very long, but it's just an example. Use the create button to write the essay. So when they go on here, they have to click on create. Okay. It has to be realistic. Make sure that what you're suggesting is legal and safe. Okay, so then we have the rubric down here, and I had to set this up. Okay, so the way you set it up is, okay, you just write down for each one of the point assignments, like for 3 points, they actually wrote the 30 words. For 2 points, they wrote less than 30, but more than 10. And then if they write less than 10 words, it's only 1 point. Okay, so then I also discussed, if it's realistic and if it's legal. So as you can see on the right side here, there's these, you can assign how many points you assign for each one of those components. And when a student turns in his or her work, then you automatically see the scale right here, and you can simply assign the point. So it's really cool. It's worth checking out. Okay, a very cool thing also to get is the Chrome extension called Share to Classroom. So whenever you're browsing the internet and you find something cool and you want to share that with your students, if you get the Share to Classroom Chrome extension, you have the little button on the top right of your computer screen, and you just click that, and automatically your students will have this on their screen. So it's very cool. Now be careful with those extensions. They can mess up your computer, so don't get 100 of them. Okay, so there's a new Google Earth. Who knew? So we used to use Google Earth in the days, but it used to be very invasive in your computer, and now it's one of the Google Suite items. So the cool thing about the new Google Earth is that you can actually start projects on there now. So this little button right there is a project. So I thought I'd make a sample one about Germany and where my relatives live. So the first one there is Düsseldorf. So this is actually right there where that block part is. That is actually my house. So my old house. It's not my house now. In Germany, you can tell the Google people that you don't want your house visible. So you can actually put a screen in front of it. It's kind of interesting. That tree right there, this is a chestnut tree, and I actually planted this from a chestnut. This thing is really old. All right. So if you wonder how to add accents onto Google Slides or Google Docs, it's not as easy as all that. But what you can do is you get an add-on. So in the top bar on Google, on the toolbar on Google Slides and Google Docs, you can find the add-ons. So it's called Easy Accents. Okay, so you can get that. And then on the right side here, when you open this, the accents will come on. So you can choose from different languages. That's very important to know for my students, because when they turn in work on Google Classroom, it's usually in the form of a Google Doc, and so they would need to put the accents on there. Okay, so some of them were very happy when I told them about this. Okay, so if you ever wondered how long a lesson video should be, okay, from the latest presenter whom I listened to, they said 1 minute per grade level, not the age of the student. So that would make a big difference. So if you teach 11th graders, keep it to under 11 minutes. Okay. You can post quick self-assessments on Google Forms with the grid option. Okay, so when you make up a Google form, okay, see where the little plus sign is, all the options come up. Like the first one would be multiple choice, and then short answer, paragraph, and so forth. So if you do the grid option, you can do a little self-assessment. So I just made one up for fun here. So how well can you use, and then I put some random things we did in German class. And then, okay, on the columns, okay, you ask them, okay, to self-assess. Like, I can use this, I can somewhat, I may be able to if I review it first, I cannot yet. So that's pretty useful. So when the students take this, let's check it off and then submit. And this will help you a lot to see what you need to review maybe. Okay, also, this one presenter suggested you use Google Forms as behavior documentation. So you can set this up, and then every time somebody acts up in your class, you can have a record on it. Now, you don't have to turn this into the office, though you could, I suppose. But you just have your own records of what's going on. So you have to set it up with name, date, what class period, and then you can set up your own inappropriate behavior. So I thought of some that students may do: disrupt class, spoke repeatedly, loudly, out of turn, stuff like that. And then down here under the other, you can make some, whatever else they did that's not on the choices. Okay. And then you submit it, and you'll have a record of it in your Google Drive. So it's kind of cool. Okay, if you're tired, like everybody, of students asking for makeup work when they finally decide to come back to school, okay, so an easy way to deal with that is you write up a short agenda with all your work for each day on your Google Class calendar. So you just click on the day and just make a list of things you did that day. So then when they come back, just tell them, okay, go on your Google Classroom calendar and do your work. Okay, so the new Kahoot Premium is actually available to all teachers right now. If you go on Kahoot.com, on the very top, there's a link, and you just click on it, and you can have Kahoot Premium. So on Kahoot Premium, you have all these different modes for questioning available. So the one that we used to use, of course, is the quiz, which is multiple choice. You can also ask for true and false, open-ended. In this case, the students actually have to type in a correct answer. Puzzle, okay, you put things in a correct order. You can also ask a poll question. And what I really like about it now is slide. So the slide function is, okay, you have a page appear, and it will say, look up, you don't have to answer any questions. And then the teacher explains things. So you don't write a whole bunch of stuff on there, though you can write, a few titles of things, and then you can talk about it. And so you can explain something, and then you can ask your next question. That's kind of cool. So right now you wonder, well, why are we even talking about Kahoot? How are you going to play that? Well, you could play it on your Zoom or on Google Meet, which is really easy. All you have to do is give them the game code, and then students go on and play the game. Now you wonder, how can you see the students and the Kahoot at the same time? Well, all you have to do is split your screen. So you just drag the Kahoot game out onto the screen, you resize your windows, and you have it side by side. Now, all these Kahoot presenters apparently had 2 monitors, but I don't suppose most people have that. So I actually played a Kahoot with mine on Google Meet last Friday, and it worked out. Okay. Now, if you don't have a whole lot of people attending, you can actually assign a Kahoot challenge. Okay. So this, if you click on that, you can decide, okay, how long is this challenge going to run? And apparently you can run it up to 30 days. Now, we don't even have 30 days of school left, but you can run it for, 3 to 5 days. And then students can try to beat your score. So I took the challenge myself, and I told my students, see if you can beat me. So Kahoot also has a thing called image reveal. So I did not know this. So when you set up your questions, this is actually a Kahoot that I got from somebody else. So you can copy other people's Kahoots, by the way. There are 40 million Kahoots available. So you can edit. First you copy other people's Kahoots, and then you edit them. So the different options on there, okay, if you look on the left here, okay, this person's original time limit was actually 20 seconds, but I thought that's way too long. And then the points, you can toggle these. So if you think a question is particularly hard, you could scoot that over. Okay, also, if you look on the right side, okay, original is how this came. Then you can change it to, okay, 5 by 5, 8 by 8, 3 by 3. So little by little, this image is revealed. So it doesn't just come up and smack, the student knows what it is. They have to wait a second to see what it turns out to be. All right, that's all I have for y'all today. So it's definitely worth checking out some of the free webinars on Kahoot and on Simple K-12.